Hey guys, I just finished doing a YouTube video. I'm in my safe space. You guys know I've been bringing you into my safe space lately. I'm in my closet, as you can see. I'm not going to show you my mess though. I put my tripod on today so it's easier to hold up here. I was using another tripod before, but this one's a little bit better. It's a little bit sturdier, so hopefully it's better. But it is a little bit warm in here today, or maybe it's just me having a hot flash. I'm not really sure. I do have a vent in here, but it's a little warm in here, so I'm going to try to finish. But if you start seeing me get a little bit red, that's what's going on. It's kind of hot in here. And so, yeah, I did a live YouTube video. I told you guys I'd be doing them after therapy session. I had my therapy this morning, and I had it this morning like around 10 o'clock till about, we went a little bit over today. We went till about, I want to say, I think we went over like maybe 10 or 15 minutes. I'm not really sure. We went over. Normally we really don't go that over. I think we've only gone over one time. I think I went over like 17 minutes. But I guess she couldn't cut me off because I had a lot to say. But today it was more like it just kind of flowed that way, and she was quite comforting, and she was super understanding with what I was going through. And I truly appreciate her because she's just so amazing, and she comes into my life with such light, and this session was amazing. And like I said, I really don't know what we're going to talk about, guys, in these sessions, but I did have some homework. The homework was to write down how much time I've been sleeping. And this past week has been a little bit rough. We started with a new routine. My kids are attending seminary. And if you guys don't know what seminary is, it's basically a class that's taught in the morning. And it's, it's scriptures, and it's just an early class. I used to teach seminary back in 2007, 2008. And if you guys haven't seen my previous videos on that, I've been sharing lots of posts about seminary, and I try to do these lives also so that I can share some of my therapy stuff. And so anyway, I'm going to just go ahead and jump in. So she asked me how my week was, and I told her it was, and she wanted to know why. And I just kind of told her that we started a new routine, and that I put my kids into seminary. And she kind of nodded, like, because she was a seminary teacher too. So we have some common things. And so she's a mom as well. I'm assuming she's got kids and stuff. Which, yeah, she has kids, because she did mention that. She's like, she started teaching seminary because she had her kids. And so I didn't have any kids at the time when I taught seminary. My husband and I were newlyweds, and we got invited to teach. And so we accepted, and we had a group of maybe 20 or more, and they were just all amazing. And so anyway, I come with a little bit of experience, and I know that it's important, to do. But my son hadn't been attending seminary for the past 3 years because, it was at a different building, and it was just a little bit harder for us with the vehicle and just gas and stuff, and it requires sacrifice, I know, but we just didn't do it because he didn't want to do it. And so now that my daughter turned 14, we were kind of encouraged to go to take them because they do everything together. And so, yeah, it's been a little bit rough because one of my kids has been struggling with wanting to go, and as a parent, it's kind of hard to hear because you want the best for them and you want to be able to provide good things for them so that they can grow up to be strong and to know where to turn when things come up, when there are hard times. And so I've always tried to teach my kids about God and our Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ and scriptures and, life lessons. I've always tried to teach them as much as I can. And I try my best, but sometimes that can be confused with wanting perfection. And like I had to teach them this week, or explain to them this week, that I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for, the willingness to try. And so it's been a little rough this week. Wednesday was a little hard because I only slept an hour. I had made a deal that didn't go as well, but that's okay. We're giving room for trying again. But it has been a little bit rough. I'm not going to lie. Dealing with my own teens is quite trying, and I'm trying because this is my first time being a parent, and I love my kids, but I also have to lay down rules. But I also am trying to heal past things, and I'm trying to not be thrown back to what I feel my life was like. And so sometimes I feel like I can be taken advantage of because I'm trying to be living on both sides. I'm trying to heal certain things, and I'm trying to live presently and trying to lay down rules. But when you hear certain words that you used to say, you kind of get thrown back there. And so I'm trying to navigate this whole situation. It is very difficult with teens. For the most part, I have great kids. They're so good. And they for the most part, they're very obedient, and they're just really great kids all around. I'm super blessed. But at times I do notice that one of the ones that I'm not going to mention any names because we don't want to do that. One of my kids is a lot like me, and it's a little bit hard to navigate that because I found myself this week apologizing to my dad. I look up to the sky and I just say, I'm sorry, Dad. My dad passed away in 2021, and I'm sure I took him for a ride too. And so now that I'm having to deal with my stuff, I ask for forgiveness quite a bit, and I try to ask for guidance, and I ask for help from above, and I ask the Lord to move the mountains in front of me because they are very overwhelming. And when you can't sleep and get proper rest, it becomes very challenging to try to remain cool and calm. But I try, and the Lord knows I try. I think I've developed a lot of patience over the years, and that is not one of my strong things, but I feel like I have learned quite a bit with my kids because I love them. I'm so grateful though that, we have a God that judges us, because I feel like sometimes we judge ourselves very harshly. And I am just so grateful that he gives grace, and he just loves us, that he just forgives us and still continues to help us. And so I'm grateful that he's the judge and I'm not the judge, because if I were the judge, I'd probably be a little bit harder. We don't forgive as easily as he does. And so I'm super grateful for that knowledge, because it is definitely hard to be a parent and to keep your cool and try to be the cool parent at the same time, and try to, fulfill some of their happiness, right? So it's definitely been a week. Let me tell you, it's been So we talked a lot about that. She really, really came with a lot of love and a lot of advice, and just heard me out and just allowed me to vent and allowed me to express how I was feeling. And she encouraged me to try to continue to work on my sleep. She did tell me that that does affect the equation in things. I need to be better at sleeping. And so today I actually allowed my kids to read my journal entries of my sleeping. I think it's important sometimes for them to read and see how mom is doing. And so I let them see that and I let them read it. One of my kids wanted to just, read 1 or 2 and not continue. And I said, no, you're going to read the entire thing because I need you to really understand how mom is doing. I'm trying to sleep, if you love me, you're going to help me also, to achieve that, because I need to be able to function. If you want a cool mom and a calm mom and a more negotiable mom, I need to be able to think. And if I can't think and process things properly because I'm dead tired, it might not turn out well. So we did talk about that and how we can try again. And so in my other video, on my YouTube video, I'm burning up in here. I don't know if it's my hormones or it's just hot in here. I'm not sure. Or maybe my kids turned off the AC over there and I'm like burning up in here, but I'm sorry. So if you see me doing that, it's because I'm hot. Anyway, yeah, I brought up the whole, we did talk about the atonement and how great that is, about how we're able to try again, on a weekly basis on Sundays. So she did use that, example with me about how we are able to do that. And so me growing up, I don't feel like we ever knew when we were off the hook. We didn't really know when we were off punishment. It was kind of more based on, how my parents were feeling emotionally, I guess, that we could ask or something. But like when my parents laid down the law, it was like, you don't ask again. If you ask one time and I say no, you can't ask again. And so I feel like that's how I've been, managing my parenting, and I need to give them room to try again, because I feel like I wish I would have had that. I wish I would have known that if I messed up, I could try again. Right. And so I'm glad that she brought that up about the atonement, about how we go to church. We have a week, right? And we do all of our daily life things. And then at the end of the week, when we go and we take our sacrament, we're able to try again when we partake of the sacrament, right? We repent or we ask for forgiveness for whatever it is that we did, and we ask for the Spirit to continue to be with us. And so I want my kids to feel that way too, that even if they mess up, they're able to try again. Let's try again, that's the whole thing I'm trying to teach them, responsibility. I want them to learn that it's all right to mess up and you can try again, but like, don't continue to do the same things over and over. You know what I mean? Like, they got to learn. And so one of my kids is already going to be 18 soon. He just turned 17, and I'm really, really trying to teach that to him. And so I think for him, it's like, the whole, idea of becoming an adult that's kind of stressing him out. It's going to be his senior year. We have to put goals in place. What do you want to do? Do you want to go to college? Do you want to go to the university? It's just all of that kind of piling up on him, and just kind of him feeling overwhelmed with that. With my daughter, it's more like she wants more social freedom. She wants to hang out with her friends. It's more like, wanting to try here and there. And with my son, it's a little bit more like, getting them out the door to actually try things, you know. With one, I have to kind of pull back, like, hey, ¿pa dónde vas? And with the other one, it's kind of like, oh, you gotta go. You gotta go try. You know, so it's kind of like, it's so different. And I'm trying to navigate the whole parenting thing. And this is my first time while trying to heal my stuff and trying not to feel overwhelmed because I hear certain words being said and it reminds me of how I was and what I was saying, and I'm trying not to be the same. And so I'm trying to navigate that whole thing right now, and it can become a lot while trying to juggle all the demands, you know, we all are serving in some way or capacity in our daily lives, and trying to fulfill a lot of things. And so it's just a lot. It's a lot of things going on. And I'm just trying my best to keep my head above water and trying for them to be happy in the process. Because if I'm feeling overwhelmed at times, I know that sometimes they can feel that overwhelmness in their lives. And so their life is different than mine. I actually went to public school, but that doesn't discard what they're going through. Just because they're homeschooled doesn't mean that they do not feel the pressure, because they're actually having to learn on their own. They don't have a teacher that, you know, that they can go to. Their homeschooling is video based and they learn that way. If they need extra help, there are like tutoring and teaching things, but on the most part, they're having to navigate on their own. They're having to get good grades on their own. They're not learning with a teacher who they can go to and ask questions and all these things. They will come to me and ask me questions if they are having trouble with something, and I will try my best to do that. And if not, they have to do the tutoring part in the homeschooling. But for the most part, they have that pressure. So even though they're not going to an 8-hour school, you know, setting or schedule, they do have to navigate things on their own, which I feel that that's why they're so much more mature. They're so much higher in that level that they have to grasp things and they have to learn them in order to get good grades. And so they do have that weight. My son has that weight about senior. He feels like it's going to be a lot of hard classes, and it's like the last year he has, and that transcript is really important to get him into college if he wants to go to the university or college or whatever. And so it's just a lot. This year is a little bit hectic because of that. My daughter, on the other hand, she's a little bit more chill because she's 14. She still has that pressure because she's a freshman, right? And it's her first time being in high school, and they're going to be more challenging classes. It's not like, you know, elementary and middle school. It's going to be more challenging, but she's like so open to becoming an adult, and she already has somewhat of a plan. She kind of knows what she wants to do when she's growing up. She's like, you know, she doesn't have like a set thing of what she wants to be, but she kind of knows what she wants to do. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but like, she kind of like says, well, like I want to get a dorm, and I want to move out, and I want to, like, she has like all these plans. My son, on the other hand, he's more like, you know, I want to stay home. I want to take a break. Like, I want to live my life a little. I want to get a job, but like, I want to be like more. So they're just so different. And I'm not trying to compare them in any way, because I like the way that they both are. And I just want to make sure that they are moving forward is all that I'm trying to do, and make sure that they try their best to make the best choices they possibly can. But at the end of the day, you know, I have to give them some grace, and I have to give them some room to make mistakes and to come to me if they need help or whatever. But yeah, guys, it's been challenging. I am trying my best to keep myself above water, and I don't want my kids to feel like they're drowning either. So we're on this whole thing. I'm on this whole thing also with the therapy, but I'm so grateful for her. She's just so amazing. She brings such light into my life and puts things into perspective for me. And also as a mom, not just with the whole therapy, you know, it's just, she touches a lot of different things. She's helping me with the grieving of my dad. She's helping me with my present life right now. And she's helping me with all the things that I'm carrying. And it's just different every time. Every therapy is different with her. And I appreciate it. Like, I just appreciate the help. I appreciate, her helping me try to navigate this whole thing. I do notice that I'm starting to live more presently, which I'm super proud of. I'm not dwelling on my past as much or grieving as much or crying as much. I feel like I'm stronger. I feel like I'm more present. I do see a lot of like let's say my Facebook stuff. Like I do see a lot of past things and I'm happy to see everything that I did, but I don't share all those things anymore because I'm trying to live more presently, which is why I make these videos, to kind of try to show more of my daily living, because I feel like it is helping me to live more presently. Yeah, I'll go and touch the past so that I can express how or why I'm bringing up what I need to, or why I think how I think, but I know how to put it back. And so I'm learning that. I have a lot of knowledge that I gained from my past, but I am also living very presently. And the other video that I did on YouTube shares other information that you're not going to see here. So if you want to see that, definitely do so. But one of the things that I will share was a video that I watched recently, and I did share on one of the pages that I manage, which is our church stake Facebook page. I saw Elder Bednard. I saw a video of him answering a question this morning, and I don't know how old that video was or anything, but I saw it on my news feed and I was really intrigued to play it. And so I clicked on it, and it was like hearing him in English, but also understanding it in Spanish. And that's kind of how I grew up. I went to a Spanish ward and I went to an English ward, but my first language is English, right? But I know both, and I am so grateful that I'm bilingual and that I was able to understand both ways, because sometimes when we don't understand one way, we can understand another way. And so he was asked about how missionaries, I don't remember the exact question, the words, but basically like how missionaries can continue to progress and not live in their past. Because as missionaries, they have so many spiritual experiences, and sometimes as they grow up and time has passed, they continue to bring up the past spiritual experiences. And so he was expressing how, like, you live more present spiritual experiences. Yes, the ones that you learned in the past are important, but you need to share the more present ones. So it was kind of funny because he was saying, like, he kind of made noises with it, and he kind of was demonstrating with his hand. He's like, as missionaries are kind of like going up and down all the time. They're constantly like having a spiritual experience, and then they won't, and then having a spiritual experience and they won't. But like, it's very like for 2 years, it's like, or for 18 months, it's like it's like always happening. And as you stop being a missionary, you just either flatline, like he said, you kind of flatline and you stop having those spiritual experiences depending on your life choices, right? And so he wanted us to focus, or he wanted to express in that video that he wants people to focus on the daily blessings, the daily spiritual experiences. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to navigate that way. I'm trying to speak of more daily spiritual experiences with you guys. And I feel that me sharing this live and opening up and sharing my journey and the therapy and the things that I'm having to go through and trying to navigate through. I hope it'll serve as a spiritual experience for you, because it is a spiritual experience for me. And so I hope that it helps, because it's kind of hard to open up. But I know that it'll serve a purpose in some way or somehow. But I totally encourage you to watch the videos that I posted today, because they're just so amazing and they're so powerful and they just help me so much. And I'm just grateful that the Lord keeps putting them in my feed so that I can just watch them. And half the time I go by the cover and I go by what the title says, and that's how I watch it, because if it intrigues me, I'm going to click on it. And so they've intrigued me, and I feel like they will help you. They're super powerful messages. They've been helping me on my daily life and with my kids. And I just feel like the Lord is talking to me, and I just fill my day with a lot of that, because I feel like right now that's what I need. I need a lot of help with trying to raise these kids and trying to heal myself. And I feel like I'm so blessed to be able to have that tool, have those tools, and have those experiences that other people have gone through to help me in my life. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring to you guys what I'm going through, and maybe it'll serve you and help you in some way. And I think that if we're a little bit more open, we can help a lot of people. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to help. I'm trying to be a light out there, and just trying to let you guys know that this is life. It's not all perfect, but it is doable. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It was kind of hard for me this week, but right now I feel better. We've talked what we need to talk. I've talked to the therapist and let some of that stuff out too, because I talk to my kids, and I'm helping them heal and helping them share and helping them open up, and also trying for them to grow up straight, and trying to help them, navigate their choices and have goals. And, I'm trying to do all that. I'm trying to run a household and trying to make sure everything is okay here at home, making sure that I don't miss anything, because things get cluttered really quickly, or things get messy really quickly. But I'm also trying to fix all of my past stuff, and trying to, let go of grieving, and let go of, let go of past trauma, and learning to to love myself more, and to be able to come back on camera and be okay with all that's going on, with this growing older. And it's just, there's just so much. And maybe even going through menopause, or maybe the vent is just not releasing any air. I'm not sure, but I am trying to navigate through all of those things, and it can create quite the storm, let me tell you. If I was not self-aware of who I am and who I can go to, I would be a complete mess. And, and I've known who I am for a long time, but there's just certain things that happen in life that can make you feel that you are alone and that you don't have heavenly help. But I am very aware that I do have heavenly help, and I know where I can go. And that is what I'm trying to teach my kids, that the day that I die, if the only thing that I left you with was knowing where you could go for help, then I can die at peace. And that's what I told my kids. I said, then I can rest in peace. And that's why they created those words for headstones, because I want to be able to rest in peace. I don't want to have to be worrying, I want to go in peace. That's why I'm still here, because I don't want to leave my kids alone, and for them not to know how to navigate through all this stuff that they're having to go through, because they're living through some things. Let me tell you, there's a lot of stuff going on right now that I didn't have to go through. I mean, I had my troubles back then, and I thought they were a lot back then, but they are going through some things nowadays, and which is why I'm trying to push a lot of this content out there to help others and to try to be a light and, let them know that, hey, we're all struggling and we're all trying to keep our head above water, but we need to, this is something that my therapist did tell me, that she told me, you need to learn to separate what you went through what you're living presently. And I understood that. But she also said, imagine yourself in water and you have your kid. You have to place your kid on safe ground first, and then try to paddle yourself to keep yourself above water, because then you can paddle, because now you know that your kid is safe. Your kid is in a safe place. And so I feel that the only safe place I can put my kids in is trusting the Lord, right, with them and my Heavenly Father, because I have faith in that. They've come through for me in so many ways that that's the only place where I can place them. I can't place them anywhere else, like sometimes I even doubt my decisions. So if I place them at their care, I know that they love them more than I do. Like if I love them, they love them so much more, right? Like just imagine, like me, I'm a parent, and Bishop knows this. And I think everybody that knows me knows how I am as a parent, that I protect my kids. They're my everything. Like I am Mama Bear, I think everybody has seen my character. And so I don't let anything hurt my kids, right? Like I'm very like that. But when you don't know everything about them, right? Because I remember being a kid and I remember not telling my kids, my parents, everything, right? The only ones that really knew were the ones I would talk to. And who were they? They were the Lord and my Heavenly Father. And so if they knew everything about me, I knew I could trust them. And so that is what I want my kids to know. I want them to know that they can go to them. If they can't talk to me about something because they're embarrassed, then at least they can go to them. So if I can place them there on safe ground, then I can sleep. I don't have to be running on a 1 hour, because that is crazy. I've had to live those nights where I can't sleep because I'm worried, and I'm stressed, and I feel so tired, and I feel so drained, and I feel like I've been living at times like when Jesus Christ asked the disciples to watch while he went, right, to go and pray to the Father. And he asked them to stay awake, and they didn't, and they couldn't. And that's how it feels when you can't sleep, right? Because you're on guard, and you're tired, and your eyes are heavy, and you just can't anymore. And so the only thing that would allow me to sleep is to put my kids in their care. That was the only way. I had to pray. I've had to pray a couple of times where I just say, you know what? I'm going to go to sleep now. Watch out for them for me. That's the only thing I could do. And in the morning, they were fine. And so they've shown me that I can trust them. And so if my parents trusted God to watch after me when I wasn't at home, when I made my choices, and I knew where I could go to and I was safe, I think I need to do the same for my kids, to be able to just teach them as best as I can where they can go for help. Allow them to make their own choices, because we can't keep them in a gold cage, right? So nothing hurts them. Can't do that. I've tried. It doesn't work. They get angry and they get really upset, and they want to explore and do and break rules and, so I can't do that. I have to allow them to show me that I can trust them and let them out of the cage, right? Because they're getting older. They're not little kids anymore. My daughter's 14, but she's a lot more mature than her age. And my son también, he's 17, he's going to be 18 soon. And, they have to learn to navigate. What's going to happen if I'm not here, right? They have to learn. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to teach them to navigate through this whole thing. But I do feel that I'm learning a lot of lessons that will get me to where I need to be and where they need to be. And so I don't know if that was all over the place or if you guys understand what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying my best to navigate through this whole thing. And it's definitely been a week and it's definitely been a lot, but I'm learning to look towards my Savior and my Heavenly Father for help because it's tough. And this world isn't making it any easier. And I am just trying my best to plant that seed and hopefully they grow up nice and straight. Even though they might want to go a little bit here and there, I'm trying for them to go straight. And if they need a little tie, a little string to kind of get them to keep, but I don't want to push too hard to where it's like they go completely the other way. So I'm trying to navigate that whole thing. It's it's quite the trial, but I've already had different types of trials. This is you got to see the humor in things, guys. You got to try to find some humor in certain things because you need to keep your sanity. I just woke up from a nap, by the way, which is why I have some energy. I'm trying to catch up on my sleep. I slept for about an hour. It was my hubby had like lunch and I totally missed the lunch break talks with him. But he'll be home soon. And I wanted to be all dolled up. I wanted to do a different type of video. I wanted to do a makeup video and stuff, and I probably will, but I'm not really sure. I'm going to try, but this is what I need to do because I told you guys I was going to be doing these live videos to bring more present content, to stay focused, and to bring some light. And so I hope they help you. If you want to go watch that other video, it's on my YouTube channel. And hopefully, it gives you more insight or whatever. But this one's definitely different from the other one. And yeah, I think that's it. And I'm going to go now because I'm burning up in here and it's really hot. It hasn't been like, or my hormones are just, I don't know. It's really hot. And so I'm going to go now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for spending some time with me and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye guys.